Robbie is man's higher self. He's the best of us. He's wholly good, Robbie. He's a good person, and he's a holy fool as well.
He has empathy for everyone, and forgiveness for everyone, and he then has something terrible happen to him, and he's changed. His worldview has changed from the most positive kind to the most negative kind. He's fighting a bigger war inside himself than the war that's going on around him. He's fighting a war for his soul, you know? He's trying to save his soul.
James is the actor that carries through most of the film. I just think he's incredible.
In time, he's been filming for quite a bit up until now, and his drive and his vision for what his character is, his clarity with what he wants, is fierce. It's still there.
It's an incredible transformation. It's not just makeup. I mean, he's physically altered himself in a way that all the best actors do, I think. They kind of metamorphose in front of camera.
Well, it's a privilege, really, to be the one that gets to stay on through the whole thing.
He's got such energy inside of him, and such kind of passion, and such honesty and openness, and his physicality is wonderful.
I think James is turning in this most extraordinary performance from what I can see in those rushes. Real authority and pathos too.
James and I have been on a big journey on this, and I love him very much.
It's been enlightening. I've learned, I've grown. Joe's made me a better actor. Really has been the finest acting experience in my career.
My favourite bit of directing is the actors, is playing with them. They were all people that I got on with and enjoyed and wanted to spend time with.
I think Joe's really taking everything one step further, you know, certainly than Pride and Prejudice. He's playing around with a lot of very dark emotions and a lot of... He's being quite courageous, you know. I think Atonement for him was a really interesting choice of movie.
Why are you crying? Don't you know? Yes, I know exactly.
He has a way of working with everybody at every single level, which is utterly charming, utterly beguiling, and commanding at the same time. It's a very willing seduction to work with him.
He has a great way of getting the message across. Like if I'm confused about doing a scene or a certain line or something, he explains it so well and so clearly. He's just fantastic.
I think he expects of you like a high standard. You know, I just want to meet him on that level and sort of, you know, give him what he wants.
When you make an adaptation, you have to claim the piece as yours and tell it from your own heart.
It's very keen on creating the right atmosphere that these people live in. We each spent like a whole day in the parts of the house that we would spend most time in, so that you'd know it almost like the back of your hand.
Joe's really educated me in how to convey huge things, to tell really upsetting, sad stories. And it's quite empowering because you start to realise that you're in charge of telling a story. You're not just in charge of playing a character truthfully.
I think he's a sensational director, and I think he's one of the first in his generation to really show greatness.
I've enjoyed the crew on this more than I've ever enjoyed a crew before. I think they're a really extraordinary bunch of people we've got in this movie.
I've been on a lot of film sets, and I always like to sort of pick up the immediate sense of, is this a happy set and is it relaxed? And my immediate impression is quite definitely, it looks like it's working like a very well-oiled machine.
I play Cecilia Tallis, who is the oldest sister in the family.
Cecilia can be quite a dislikable character at the beginning of the film. She's a snob and she's stiff and uptight and difficult.
You idiot. You realise that's probably the most valuable thing we own?
And it's been really interesting to play. I mean, partly the reason that Joe really won me round with the entire idea of it was he wanted to do a really kind of 1930s, 1940s style of acting.
I think Keira is turning in a wonderful performance. Sort of brittle, edgy, highly intelligent, very, very beautiful, slightly lost within herself. I love that.
The reason that I liked the character was she's very grown up. You know, it's not like girl kind of turning into woman. She's a woman. She knows who she is, but she doesn't know what direction to go in.
It's great to see Keira playing a fully rounded woman, playing older than herself and pulling it off beautifully, playing a harsher, tougher character.
Look, I really think you should go down to the lodge and ask him not to come.
Why? Something happened between you?
For God's sake.
I think that was the real important thing, not to play that kind of young girl on the brink of growing up, but to play somebody who has figured out who she is, who is comfortable in her own shoes, and yet doesn't know what to do with her life.
She's incredible in this, I think. She just suits this period brilliantly. Yeah, she's been excellent to work with, and a good laugh as well.
Keira's been more than just a kind of leading lady. She's been a collaborator, really, and she put herself completely behind it, and for that, I will be eternally grateful to her. And I think it's the best performance yet. I'm stunned by what she's done in this film.